Hello. This video is all about slowing down while living in a big city, cottagecore, and just aesthetic things, I guess. Anyway, if you're already here sticking around for this video, consider watching some of my other videos and maybe we can just, I don't know, like vibe together. I desperately wanted this video to be published weeks ago. I definitely didn't want it published on December 1st, today, the day that maybe some of you are seeing this video. I then set this new deadline for the day after Thanksgiving, and what originally was going to be 2 separate videos became 1 because of timing. And yeah, I guess the whole point of this video is about slowing down, right? I've already said that. And November really taught me how to slow down. And it's not disingenuous to plan slow moments in your life. I don't think that we should just rely on slow and peaceful moments to just be serendipitous and just random. I think it's also okay to plan out those times in your life. This month, although it did teach me how to slow down, it was simultaneously the busiest month that my husband and I have had the whole year so far. I don't know how that happened. Like, originally there wasn't that much planned out for this month, but then something just happened, you know, life happens. So no matter how much you try to slow things down and all that jazz, things still happen, which of course make you more appreciative for the slow moments that you planned out, like that hike that you went on or that picnic that you went on. And especially now that everything is covered in snow and it's quite cold out, and those things are no longer possible unless for whatever reason you like hiking in the middle of winter. If that's your thing, then that's fine. But most of us won't be doing those things for months on end now. So November was really the last hurrah in my life, in my, you know, lifestyle, I suppose is what I'm trying to say, to do those kind of outdoorsy things. From here on out, mostly everything is going to be indoors. So, I don't know. I just wanted to make this intro to kind of have the rest of the video make sense, because this video is coming out in December, and I just wanted a bit of a kind of review on what is going to be seen in this video, if people even watch it, because I think most people are going to want to watch Christmas things. I mean, people have been wanting to watch Christmas things since November 1st, which is fine, but I'm trying to stay away from that. With all that being said, I hope you enjoy this video, because this is how I should really say we, because it was a huge group effort actually, made November magical. It's raining, as you could see. We were going to go on our hike today. This video, of course, has taken several days to record, and it will take several more to finish, and of course to edit and everything. But I really like it that way. I originally had this video planned to be just a 3-day event thing, and then maybe 3 days of editing, and then that's it. But I'm quickly realizing that it's going to take up at least half of the month, which oddly enough is kind of fitting for the topic of this video, which is taking November slowly and not in stride, and just really savoring the last bits of autumn. So everything is decorated, everything looks very sleepy, especially outside. And you know, yeah, we would have really liked to have spent our Sunday on a hike in the forest, but we'll find some time for that sometime this week. In the meantime, I'm still doing something that I wanted to do today anyway, which is finally read The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And so far, I'm on only page 16, and I am hooked. Deeply hooked. It gives very much the same type of vibe as the Dead Poets Society. It's very dark academia right off the bat. But what I love so much about it so far is how detailed the neuroses of the character is so far. It's also sort of J.D. Salinger about it, just I even want to say like a bit more detailed than J.D. Salinger would have written pretty much anything. I mean, he wrote very short stories, novellas, if you will. So not too much detail was with his characters, but it still has that same type of essence with the lost boy who doesn't know who he is and, you know, is trying to find himself. I do love a good coming of age story, and this is one of them, even though it's coming of age with college, which I think I relate to more because I just got out of that whole situation myself. So I know very well what it's like to, you know, try to figure out college and try to figure out yourself, if college is even good for you, and I can ramble about that for forever. But it's a very good book so far, and I think it is probably the most perfect November read I've ever picked up. I like to read seasonally. I know some people do not care at all for that, and I understand why, but for me, reading something that pairs with the season, it's like pairing a good cheese with a wine. It's they're meant for each other, and you can almost immerse yourself better in the story if your surroundings match the same type of essence that the story has going on. I equate it to that you probably wouldn't watch a Christmas movie in the spring. You know, that's the way that I look at it. So if you're looking for a November read still and you have not read this book, I know that this is one of the books that people love to reread. There's some huge fans of this book out there. This is your sign. Just read it, or read it again, because it's November and we have just a few weeks left of autumn. And it's a beautiful, dreary, pensive day. this is like a secret tree. Like, you rub it or whisper into it and it like opens up a door or something. Like, no. I tried, but it didn't work. The first thing I'm doing is doing something that requires zero cooking, zero stovetop, zero oven, just marination. Because if you want to tackle Thanksgiving or any other kind of huge holiday food prep, I suggest that you start with the most simple things, which is just marination. You just put it all together, you stir it up, and you stick it in the fridge, and you forget about it until tomorrow. So every family has food that they eat on a very specific holiday around the world that you probably grew up thinking that, oh, everybody eats this specific food for this holiday. And then when you grow up, you're quite surprised that not everybody eats that specific dish for the holiday. That for me was baked beans. I could have sworn that every single family ate baked beans on Thanksgiving and for Christmas, like everywhere. But it turns out it was just my dad who just really liked and likes still every single time makes baked beans. And to me, it is just not that holiday unless there are baked beans also on the plate. Like, it just has to be there. So that is something that is going to be our family tradition until, you know, hopefully my future kids like baked beans and they pass it on, or they don't have to, of course, because tradition is basically just dead people forcing you to do stuff in your living life. Yeah, I'm actually gonna give him a call and ask him where he got the baked bean idea from. If maybe it was from his parents or from his grandparents. I'm not too sure about that.
What's up, kiddo?
So I'm editing my Thanksgiving video, and I forgot to ask you something that is important to the video. Who in your family, or was it you that came up with baked beans at Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Don't really remember like the way I made them, but
Right, yeah. But like, was some type of cooked like white bean?
no, brown beans in a can or whatever.
Brown
baked
beans in a can. Okay.
What we call baked beans.
Right, yeah.
No, because actually, no. I think back. I remember my mom, and I do remember they were a brand. They came in a jar. They were called Bean M, which I always thought was hilarious.
Bean M?
No,
B?
and M.
Oh, B&M. Okay.
So what's BM stand for? Bowel movement.
Oh, okay.
So they were bean baked beans. Okay, you don't need to say any more. I mean, once you understand what the hell we're talking about here, you know, it was like, guaranteed. But,
yeah, I was just wondering because I realized that, like,
your mother's taking a 2-hour project and turned it into a fucking all-day ordeal. What is the matter with your lights up there now? Oh, so you had to put in new ones.
She's so far away from the mic that she sounds like a Charlie Brown character, but like Hispanic. Yeah. Like, but yeah, so I ask you because I realized I always thought that baked beans were like just a part of the American Christmas, Thanksgiving plate, but it's not really. Like some people just like, I was under the assumption that it had to be on there.
More than anything.
More of a what?
A northern thing. I
Oh,
really
okay,
believe
yeah.
that baked beans originated out of Boston. I have no idea why I have that recollection. Something like, I think they came from up in that area.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Up
So
in
like,
the I'm not sure. You'd have to look up the history of baked beans, I
all right,
guess.
yeah. So like upper east, Midwest area. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
northeast is what they call it.
Northeast, yeah. By the way, you're on recording because I'm gonna add this to my video. So do you want to say hi?
Take note. This is my daughter asking my opinion.
Yeah. A very similar but different version to what my dad does. My dad likes his to be a bit more sweet. He usually makes two different like tins. One is spicy, one is sweet. I am going to go for a mix of the two, just less sweet, because all of the food that we have on our menu so far is very, very rich. And baked beans are also very heavy and very rich. So I'm going to try to simplify the sweetness and just have it be just kind of there on the back of the palate and not be the first thing that you taste when you bite into it. So I have 2 big cans of white beans. This is not sponsored, by the way. I don't know if I need to blur this out or anything. Just letting you know, nothing here in this video today is sponsored. If you see a brand, there's no affiliation. So I'm going to start with just one because I have this small casserole dish that I'm using, and I don't know if 2 is going to fit in there. So I'm going to drain this. Dump that right in there. I think quite possibly that I might have to use just half of this. All of this is going to be eyeballed, so if you're here for a recipe, there is no recipe. I'm just going to tell you what I have in my arsenal. So I have honey, I have hot sauce. I like to use Valentina hot sauce. If you're trying to find Valentina hot sauce here in Budapest, just go to Culinaris, they always have it there. Just a regular soy sauce and a Dijon mustard. And last but not least, tomato paste. I would say just put in a little bit of each at a time. Just go with your gut and then just taste as you go along until you like what you're working with. That's kind of what I do when it comes to a lot of type of cooking. Don't do that with baking. Do not just throw things in there and guess. You gotta be precise. All right, so here we go. we had such an amazing Thanksgiving. This was our first ever Thanksgiving. It just couldn't have been more beautiful. It really couldn't have. So I'll give you guys a little lowdown on my personal relationship with Thanksgiving. It was always just like a food holiday. It wasn't anything more than that in my family. My father taught me like right off the bat. Like I remember I went to kindergarten, we had a Thanksgiving Day thing there, and it was all very glossed over, like, oh, like, you know, kindergarten history. And I went home and my father like taught me like the brutal, very real history. And yeah, that definitely changed my brain chemistry a bit. But yeah, so it's a complicated holiday, which turned out to be more so just like a food holiday and a day of religious thanks and just thankfulness in general. I personally, I say it quite a few times on this channel already, but if you're new here, then you're new here. I do separate art from artists, and I am able to look at history through a different lens, through a more, I guess, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I can create new traditions around perhaps complicated histories, if that makes sense. But I didn't see the need to have Thanksgiving here in Budapest outside of the States. It's not like Halloween where the majority of Hungarians in Budapest, I should say, I don't know about the rest of Hungary, think that it's a really cool holiday, and every single year it gets more and more popular, especially with the younger generations. But Thanksgiving, it's just like that episode that you like on Friends, or it's nothing really more than that, at least from what I have seen. However, 2 years ago, my husband proposed to me on Thanksgiving Day. So it completely changed my want to celebrate that holiday, and I wanted to start celebrating it again. And that same evening when he proposed to me, we went to a friend's house to celebrate Thanksgiving. She is American, so it made sense to me. And then I want to say, what did we do the previous year? I think I just got way too busy with school, and or did we go back to their house? I can't remember too well, to be honest with you. But this year we decided to do a Friendsgiving. It was just, you know, in our hearts, and we just were like, we gotta do it, you know, like we were just very dead set on it. And boy, are we happy that we did it. It is now a long-lasting tradition. We're gonna do it every single year whenever we're not in the States. Actually, even if we do go to the States for Thanksgiving, we're going to do like a pre-Thanksgiving Friendsgiving, just because we're determined to have it every year from now on. It was all of our friends' first Thanksgiving ever, and it was also my husband's like first like proper Thanksgiving. It was very like movie-esque, like the decor, like just the vibe was very much like what you would see in a classic like Thanksgiving movie or like episode, and just the warmth that was just emanating from everybody, and the thankfulness and love, like you could just feel it in the air essentially. And the food was just outstanding, and it was my first time and my husband's first time ever cooking such a grandiose meal for so many people, and our friends did very kindly bring their own dishes as well. But boy, were we tired after all that cooking. But it was so nice to have that first experience of when you make such a gigantic meal, and then everyone starts eating and there's just silence. Like, I always grew up hearing like adults and family members like say that that's their favorite part, is the silence when everybody's eating. I didn't really understand it until now. So that was really cool. Yeah, we had fun. We had so much fun. So I just want to, you know, wrap up this video with saying some more thanks, even though it is December 1st. I do see the end of each calendar year as a kind of prolonged gratefulness and just like a celebration in general. I have a video coming up where I talk a little bit more about this, just a little bit, where even if you're not like a spiritual or a religious person, I think that one should still be thankful that you made it throughout the year and that it's the end of the year. And even though it's really dark and gloomy, and maybe you have seasonal depression or the holiday blues, whatever you want to call it, we can bring so much light into each other's lives as friends and family. And it's just, you know, really is a time to be grateful for at the end of the year, that, you know, we all made it, we're here, we're still here. And yeah, I just want to say thanks to all of you like watching this. I know that it might sound silly because who cares? I'm just, you know, a lady who's talking to herself in her apartment to a camera. But I really do appreciate all of you, and I think it's so cool that you guys are like interested in watching me like making videos that I think are cool to make. Basically, like it's nice when people like your hobby and think that it's interesting or that they can relate to it. So I am very, very thankful that you're here, that all of you are here. And I was not expecting so many views on my crochet sweater video, like at all. I do think that the crochet YouTube community is a very great one, and you know, there's like nothing that we can't do. Basically, we're such a beautiful and creative group of people. So I do want to make more crochet content in this upcoming year, and hopefully I will be uploading my first tutorial still this year in this month. I am just so happy with how things are turning out here. I really wasn't expecting it. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving and had a happy November, of course. And as always, I hope you're happy. There is a lot of December content coming your way, so keep an eye out for that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.